Hi there, I'm Allison Moon. Welcome to 90 Days of Self-Publishing. This is the official day one of the project. Yesterday I created a little video that was kind of a pre-game slash preamble to this whole project. But today I'm talking about two of the big things that I'm dealing with. I actually had created a list that I was planning on reading on this video, and it was so long that the video got to be like 8 minutes long before I had even gotten halfway through the list. That's what I've got up against. At any rate, so I want to talk about the two big things right now. So one is hiring an editor and typesetting the book. These are two essential elements of getting a novel in shape such that it can actually be read, right? So hiring an editor, I got my book as an author, got my book to as kind of complete as the book could possibly be from the author's perspective. That is, I've written about, I think, 4 drafts of it. I think the last draft that I have is about 4.5. Before it kind of got to as perfect as I could make it, as perfect as I wanted it, before I handed off to an editor. Now, I had gotten a lot of editorial advice from people already, suggesting that different aspects of, like, you know, I could probably trim a little bit from the first 100 pages to get to the action faster. That's a great tip, but otherwise I didn't need a lot of developmental stuff. That is, all the characters were well-rounded, all of the plot points seemed appropriate, everything was in order for the book itself. And now all I really needed was what was generally called line editing, right? Making sure that my diction sounds good, making sure that my syntax is proper, making sure that my grammar is good, and making sure that it reads kind of smoothly enough for the average reader. This is something that an editor is great for. So I have actually hired an editor. She's wonderful already. And what we're doing is we're working on a 2-week schedule where she edits linearly, and then she sends me the first chunk, or she sends me a chunk of pages every 2 weeks. The reason why we've developed that schedule, as opposed to her just delivering me a completed manuscript after she's done with it, is A, because I didn't need a lot of developmental work, I don't think, from her at least. And B, I need to typeset this book myself, and we're working on a deadline. So what I'm doing is I'm typesetting as she sends me pages. So she sends me the first 65 pages, and then I go and I typeset them. And typesetting is a really cool craft. You should look it up if you're not familiar with what it is. But basically, it makes a book look like a book as opposed to a Word document. And this is actually a very big difference between a lot of kind of, you know, hastily self-published books you'll see and what you'd find from Barnes & Noble. Typesetting is a beautiful craft, and it's actually really fun. I enjoy taking this into my own hands. It's basically the way the words look on the page, the way that the chapter titles look, the way that the page numbers appear on the page. These are all explicit choices that are made by typesetters and publishers. So I'm really enjoying the process of designing what my chapter titles will look like, whether they're numbers or whether they're written out, whether they have graphics or whether they don't. This is really cool for me. I have a graphic design background already, so I'm enjoying learning this new software and learning this new process. So I'm excited about this, but it also is incredibly time-consuming. So I'm going to need to be able to do this as we go, or else I'll never be able to get it done in the month that I'll have after the editing's all integrated. So every 2 weeks I integrate her changes to the best of my ability. We might have conversations about what I disagree with, but most of the time I'll probably hew to her expertise because that's what editors are for. And I will typeset such that I will hopefully by August 15th, which is her deadline for me to get me all the changes, we will have a completed edited manuscript that is ready to be fully typeset such that I can send it to the printer and get a proof back. So there you go, that's the first step. I'll be back tomorrow with more things from this ridiculous list that I've got. But I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.